I think you have great thumbnails.
Oh, thanks, man.
On your worst videos.
What do you mean? That's the best.
Because
that's the best compliment I've ever gotten in my life.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, dudes? It's the Dr. Blue, and today I am joined by GLOBKU, the magnificent, the birthday boy.
Oh,
how are you feeling?
That was a couple of days ago. You actually went to Twitter.
Residual.
You wished me a happy birthday on the right day. I streamed the day after. A bunch of people were wishing me happy birthday a day late. Those people are fakes. I do not accept happy birthdays anymore. It's on the day or you're not a real friend. That's it.
Do not leave a comment down below, dudes. Do not wish this guy happy birthday.
I like that. Reverse psychology. Boost my algorithm. Do not leave a comment. I like that. Good strat.
Well, so if you guys do not know, GLOBKU is an excellent anime fighting game creator. He does have a ton of Dragon Ball FighterZ content, which I know you guys are super interested in. That's the majority of my channel. But he's actually an anime enthusiast. So I have a few questions for him today, and we're going to go through them and see if he can give you some tips and tricks on how to start your own channel and get an insight into what his journey was like. So first question, GLOBKU.
All right.
What did you start, or why did you start making content?
I started making content when I realized that you could make a living out of this. It was like 10 years ago or something. And honestly, even back then, it was a very competitive space and it was not easy to break through. And I haven't broken through to making this full-time. Maybe it was like until 4 years ago. And even then, it wasn't my own channel. It was through this other company called TGN.
Yeah.
So I was making content. I was making good content, good quality content. It was not blowing up. You guys know how it goes. Sometimes making good videos doesn't mean you'll get a lot of views. The quality of the content doesn't always correlate to the amount of views you get. But that was enough to get me noticed by this company. So I started live streaming for them. After that, I started editing videos for them. Then I started hosting videos, being the actual face on the channel. And one of my first videos on TGN, it's still up. You can search for Arkham Knight Easter eggs. That was one of my first videos on that channel, and that has over 1 million views. So from that point on, I kind of became not really a full-time as far as contract goes, but I was essentially a full-time employee for TGN. At some point, the YouTube algorithm changes, and it starts rewarding channels that cover a single game, and TGN was a variety channel back then. And the single game they decided to focus on was Overwatch, and Overwatch was fine, but I wasn't really in love with it. So at some point they said, leave this team and start your own thing, and that's how TGN Anime was born. They asked me to pitch a bunch of concepts, and I pitched like 4 concepts in total, and one of them was TGN Anime, and that's the one we ended up running with. 2 years later, TGN Anime shuts down, not enough profit. And
right.
And I come over to my channel, which I've created like 7 years ago or something. And I was also doing variety stuff, variety content. Of the stuff that I was doing before this, I think covering Dying Light really blew up.
That was a great game.
Yeah, that
was a very good game.
Yeah, it was mostly like pre-release videos, like speculating on stuff, showcasing, hey, here's the different zombie types. That one got like 400,000 views or something. And then I kind of applied that same format to Arkham Knight. And that's around the time that I got hired by TGN, and a lot of that knowledge that I had on Arkham Knight I brought to that channel that already had like hundreds of thousands of subs, and the same content that I was making on my channel was just working a lot better on their channel. So yeah, that's kind of how it all began. But yeah, I started because I was looking at my professional career at the time, and I knew YouTube was never going to be a sure thing. So I ended up going to university. I took psychology. I have a master's degree on psychology.
You have a master's degree?
Yes.
What? That's awesome.
I have a master's degree in psychology. To actually be a psychologist, after you get your master's degree, you have to do 1 year of paid internship, and then you get your card that says you're a psychologist. So I did all that, and when I got my card, I never did psychology, because that's when I actually started doing YouTube and Twitch full-time for TGN. So yeah, I did those 6 years in college and internships, so then I could do YouTube.
So, all right, hold on. Yeah. That is the most inspirational thing I've ever heard. I am 26 right now. I went to college late. I have a year and a half left, but I have a degree that's really nice. It's international business, operations and supply chain management with a minor in Arabic.
Wow.
And when I get done, it's going to be great. But hearing a story like that where you got a master's degree, you had the job and you chose to do this, that's the kind of content you want to see. That's exactly the route that I'm... Yes, that is so cool, dude.
Yeah, because you never know if your channel is going to work or not. And until it is paying the bills, and you can safely say, okay, I can do this full time, you don't want to give up on your other project, which is a much more surefire thing of, I'll land a traditional job and I'll do this thing on the side. And I think that's honestly the safe way of doing it, whether you are 26, whether you are 18, whether you are 30 years old. It's not like putting all of your eggs in the YouTube basket, because that goes away anytime. And even now, if I just did YouTube, I would not feel safe in my revenue. You can see it with the current pandemic. I'm sure you're feeling this as well. Like, revenue is so down. Like, I'm getting the same amount of views, and I'm not getting paid a third of what I used to with the same amount of views. So yeah, even just doing the YouTube thing, you can't think of yourself as a YouTuber. You have to think of yourself as a content creator, and you have to have multiple sources of revenue. In my case, it's the sponsors that you see on the channel, the ad revenue from YouTube, the Patreon and subs and people who support me, and also Twitch for now. I'm adding a merch store soon, probably.
Oh, it's a full-time grind.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It has to be. It has to be. There's no other way of doing it.
But it's never boring. It's always fun. Like sitting down and making content is probably the most fulfilling thing. And I don't know if you can speak to this as a musician. I do know that you're a drummer, or at least you've dabbled into percussive arts. But when you're in a band, it's you make an album and then you market that album, and that's it. You get to go on stage each night and create and like have fun. But with the YouTube grind, you don't have to wait a year to write another album. It's something new every single day. It's hyper fulfilling. Have you found that too?
I think with music, nowadays you can make music a lot faster too. So if you wanted to take the YouTube approach to music, you could definitely do it as well. In my case, I had or have, I'm still not sure, a four-person band. And it was hard to get together and create stuff on a regular basis. For a while there, we did it weekly, but at some point, life gets in the way, and other stuff happens, and you start saying, well, I can't this week, and then next week someone else cancels, and before you know it, you haven't rehearsed for over 2 months. And then your guitar player sells his amp, and it's like, okay, that's done.
It's like, all right, sweet.
But I totally see where you're coming from. I think if you applied yourself to making music the same way you apply yourself to YouTube, you wouldn't be so dependent on other people for rehearsals and for creation, and you could actually do it on a semi-regular basis. And that's why there are a lot of successful YouTube music channels too, with just, I'm a dude and I'm gonna make this song in 24 hours, you know? Because that kind of stuff works. I recorded this sample of my cat, I'm gonna make dubstep. That thing got recommended to me a few days ago. It was a funny video.
That stuff is sick. It really is. Okay, so we have some common ground there. However, where we don't have as much common ground is where you are also an expert. I am such a casual fan of anime. I have seen maybe One Punch, I've seen a little bit of Attack on Titan, I've definitely seen all of Dragon Ball. However, I am starting Naruto for the first time. Okay. And I am super excited. Can you speak to the filler of Naruto, if I should skip it, and what anime you would recommend for a novice to the genre?
Okay, skip it, definitely, 100%.
Okay,
the Naruto filler kind of ruined the anime for me.
True.
To the point that, that was the first anime that I was like, I'm not watching every episode. Because up to that point, I was just religiously watching every single episode of every show that I was following at the time. And Naruto was the first one where it got to a point where I said, let me check this episode's comments. Filler, okay, skip. Not even gonna dabble on that.
And you didn't miss
nowadays, now the show is done, and you actually have lists of episodes that are filler, so you don't have to go every week to the forums and check which channels are filler or which episodes are filler and which ones aren't. So yeah, just feel free to skip that right away. What would I recommend? I think everyone needs to watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That is one of my top 3 for sure. And I think pretty much everyone will enjoy it, whether they are an anime fan or not, honestly. So yeah.
Well, that is good to hear.
My recommendation.
I have some dear friends who are into that. Do I need to watch? Is Full Metal Alchemist the sequel? Do I need to watch the other Full Metal Alchemist?
First, they made Full Metal Alchemist, and they didn't finish it. At some point, they went an original route because I think the manga wasn't done. Brotherhood is basically the remake of those episodes, but it goes the whole way. So you don't need to watch the previous one. Just with Brotherhood, you'll be clear. And the animation is a lot better. It's more recent and all that stuff.
Well, then I will add that to my list for sure. And speaking on animes you should check out, I think the biggest question now that Dragon Ball FighterZ is in its season 3 is the likelihood of another beloved IP becoming a fighters-like game. What IP in anime, it doesn't have to be shonen, it could be anything, do you think should be the next Fighters?
I think the next Fighters should be Fighters 2.
Ooh, the oddball, the curveball. I didn't see it coming. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And the reason for that is if you start putting other franchises into the Fighters format, not only do you diminish what Fighters did, because it becomes a formula, you run the risk of it not being as good because that formula really fits Fighters.
It really does.
Or Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
That really fits Dragon Ball. And I think GameSpot did a video recently, which was an amazing piece. I think the title is something like, please stop making arena fighters. Please stop making all anime games into arena fighters or something like that. And one of the points that they touch on, I wish I had the name of the guy because he did a really good video. One of the things that they touch upon is that each anime kind of has its own genre. Or you should think about each anime franchise as its own individual thing. And the reason why Dragon Ball FighterZ is so good is because the focus of the anime is the fighting. But if you take something like Naruto, you have fighting there, but that's arguably not the focus of that show. It's the world building, it's the backstories, the deep, the friendship connections, whatever.
Yeah,
like that should be the focus of a Naruto game. You could argue that My Hero Academia has awesome epic fights, but it's about the journey of Deku going from being a powerless kid all the way to the #1 hero, you know? So I don't think I would totally play it, and I would be very interested to see what they do with it mechanics-wise.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick, I would say the next Fighters should be Fighters 2. I don't think another IP should get that treatment.
I think that's sick. I think that Fighters is such a unique game because it has brought in so many new people to the FGC, myself included. Like, I dabbled in the Injustice games because I'm a massive fan of superheroes. So I'm going to dabble in... Yeah.
Same.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's where I came from. Yeah, I came from NetherRealm, too.
Yep, that is it. So when they make an Injustice 3, I'm going to be all over it. But then when they made Fighters, it was just so visually catching. I'm like, yeah, that's the game for me. So it's interesting to think because it still holds up well. I don't know what they would do with a sequel. Like, what route do you think like could even benefit a game that still like looks timeless today?
It's crazy because you look at season 3 and how much they've changed the core fighting.
Yeah.
Just like in terms of the change to snapback, the tick throws, that everything.
Yeah.
That it really is hard to imagine what they could do with a Fighters 2 that they can't just patch in. But I think it comes down to it would be possible to patch this stuff in, but we need to put in a lot more resources, so we need to sell a new game to justify that. And what I would like to see is sort of a little bit of the NetherRealm treatment they give to their games single-player wise. Like, I would like to see a proper story mode. I would like to see some proper single-player content, because I think Fighters is very welcoming to newcomers because of its fighting system, but a big part of it being of a fighting game welcoming new people is also the single-player content, that cinematic experience and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
So that, I think, on its own would be enough to justify a sequel, and obviously a different netcode also would be great.
What do you mean?
Justify
what do you mean? That's so good already.
Well, what do I mean? What I mean is that I'll be very surprised if Fighters will be at EVO this year. Because of its netcode.
I absolutely agree. I kind of hope it is. Like, I hope it is, just so the company can see and like not pretend anymore that it's okay. Because I mean,
I think they'll still get the message if it's not at EVO because of its netcode.
You know what?
They'll still get the message.
That is absolutely right.
And if it is at EVO and the netcode is bad, what's the company takeaway from it? Like, our game was still at EVO, right?
we're here.
We didn't see any lag. Whatever. Well, why should we change things, right? But yeah, with ArcSys making Guilty Gear Strive a rollback game, there is a good chance that the next fighters will be too. Though, you know, I hear rollback and I get worried because previous attempts at implementing rollback from Japan have not been super successful. So I hope Strive has a solid netcode, because if it does, it will change fighting games significantly.
Yeah.
Like both Capcom and ArcSys going rollback, that sets the new industry standard. Done. Like no one else can make delay-based games. But they have to pull it off. They have to make a good rollback netcode. Yeah.
They have to. Well, speaking of Arc System Works, I have also dabbled into a GLOBKU'S Fantasy Versus. And I learned about it first from your channel, the GLOBKU'S channel. However, I am a follower of you on Twitter. I am questioning, why do you think there's not such a blossoming scene like there was with Fighters on GLOBKU'S, even though it's a fantastic game? I love the game. Why do you think the scene around it isn't as developed right now?
For the same reason that millions of copies of Jump Force were sold.
Millions. I mean, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because it's the characters, it's the franchise. That's what people care about. Why Smash Ultimate is one of the most successful fighting games ever, because everyone was there. You had every single character, and that's what people want. They want the flashy stuff. They want the ultimates. They want the characters. So with GLOBKU'S, you can make a fantastic game. But still, like, no one cares. No one cares about those characters. They have no connection. I have no connection to those characters.
Fair.
I just like playing the game.
Fair.
But for you to ask someone to invest $60 into a game, they have to be invested already from something else. Whether it's word of mouth saying, hey, this game's really good, you're missing out on this, or it's, oh, a Dragon Ball game. I want to play Goku and Vegeta and all those characters. And I think with fighting games specifically, since they are already a niche genre, you can't take everything's gonna shake. Okay, cats.
Oh, I thought it was an earthquake.
Yeah. With fighting games specifically, since it's already such a niche, you can't compromise. You can never do those kinds of compromises. That said, Granblue Fantasy Versus is a huge success.
It is.
It's just not over here. It's just not over on the West. Because if you go to Japan, Granblue is just as big as Dragon Ball, and that's mind-blowing to think about, because most people never heard of it out here in the West. But yeah, you go look at those games' sales, and they'll probably make another one. And they'll keep supporting that game for a long time, because Japan alone has carried the sales for that game.
That's phenomenal to hear. That's a side of the industry I didn't know about. Because, I would gladly keep playing that game. There's tons of people on my Discord that absolutely love it. And it's a fun time. And I'm sure they'll do the same with Strive. It's also a thing where I hope Strive is a titan of the industry, but the character attachment might not be there at first. So I guess we'll have to see. Yeah,
I think Strive is gonna appeal a lot more because of graphics alone.
Oh, and the music. Oh man.
Yeah. Like the whole presentation of Strive is gonna draw a lot of newcomers that don't know who Soul Bad Guy is.
Well, I have had you here for quite a minute, so I want to respect your time, and I'd like to close out with maybe one last question, if you're okay with it.
Yeah, sure.
That would have been great if, like, nope, not okay, I have to go.
I thought this was going to be like an hour, but yeah. Like, True Underdog had me like for 2 hours. I was ready for anything.
Yeah, True Underdog was surprised when I kept mine at 20 minutes too. That is a cool guy. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a long-winded question. What advice would you give to someone who wants to start the same journey you're on, but has reservations? And what advice would you give yourself 5 years ago?
Okay, what are the reservations exactly?
The reservations, like, the crowded market, the stigma of being a YouTuber. It's very much like, Mom, I'm going to grow up and be a rock star. It's like, sure you are. You know what I mean? But like for the new generation, they want to be streamers. They want to be YouTubers. They want to build a community.
Yeah, so I think that stigma isn't as present with the new generation. I actually think
you might be right.
That's the new dream job, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing everyone wants to be, as a YouTuber, as a streamer. They want to play video games for a living, not knowing that that's not the job. But I would say if you have a problem with how you're perceived, then you're probably not cut out for this.
Fair.
Because you'll get daily comments, and they will make you question your life decisions for as much as you try to brush them off. So yeah, you need a thick skin for that. That said, it's not easy to break through. There are a lot more failure stories than there are success stories, even though it doesn't look that way, because the success stories are the ones that you hear about. Those are the ones you see. But if you look up the number of channels that have less than 1,000 subs, the number is impressive. So definitely have a plan B, and maybe make that plan B your plan A, and have YouTube as a plan B. If I knew what I know now 5 years ago, I'll maybe go a bit further back since I started doing YouTube.
Yeah.
A bit before
that is fine.
I would say the ideas you have might sound good, but the view count is all that matters. And let me explain that.
Yes.
A lot of people have this stigma on, oh, you only do this for views. And that's not the case. Because the views are the only thing that matters, because if you don't get those views, your channel dies.
Oh.
Period. You cannot do this for a living if you don't get those numbers. So it's not about doing clickbait. It's not about doing, I don't know, outrageous stuff. But it's about being open to trying different ideas out and sticking to what works. I have done countless videos, countless series where I was too stubborn to accept that they would not work. And I was very proud of those videos. I was very proud of those ideas. The time I put into the edits, they were funny videos, and I still have them up on my channel. As soon as I saw they didn't work, I should have done 2 or 3 more tests and completely dropped it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I was too stubborn to accept that. Also, understand that if you are going to be a YouTube creator, you are not just working for yourself. You are not just working for your channel. You are also working for YouTube, and you have to give YouTube what it wants. And in order to understand what YouTube wants, I mean, we go back to the views and the stats and the analytics and all that. But a successful YouTuber works together with the platform. And getting into the mindset of YouTube doesn't promote my videos, the YouTube algorithm sucks and all of that, does you no favors. All that stuff can be true, but if you get stuck in that mindset and blame YouTube for the videos that don't perform, then those videos are still not performing.
True.
And your complaints got you nowhere.
Yeah.
So understanding what YouTube wants, giving YouTube what it wants, and obviously you're making compromises. You're not just looking at the current trend and being like, well, I guess TikTok videos are famous, so I'm going to make a TikTok compilation now.
I am guilty of that.
Like, that's not the content you want to make. I can look at your channel and point out like 5 things you're doing wrong right now.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Oh God! All right, sweet. This is a masterclass. This has turned into a masterclass.
Let's do that right now.
Okay.
The whole reason why I accepted this podcast, the whole reason why I follow you on Twitter, is because I think you're a creator that thinks outside the box. I think you have some very unique videos that no other channel has. There are Dragon Ball Fighters related.
Sure.
And then you ruin your channel with gameplay videos.
True. Okay, fine. Lay it on me. All right. Describe and break down.
So gameplay videos, everyone makes them. It's very hard to stand out as a new creator by making gameplay videos, right? So you have these very creative ideas. Some of them work, some of them don't.
Yeah.
But that's what's unique about your channel, and that's sort of your channel identity. I haven't looked at stats, so maybe a lot of the stuff that I'm saying is wrong, but looking at your recent videos, release date confirmed means news videos for Dragon Ball Fighters might work. Right? So let's maybe keep doing that. With news videos, you can also join speculation videos there and think about the future of the game, because that means people are interested in what's coming.
Yes.
Right? On top of that, like, I really love the work you did with the community tier list. That was a very original idea.
Yeah, it was fun.
I love that you are a drummer and you actually showcase that on the channel. That's a value that you bring to your platform that other people don't have. That said, sometimes drumming doesn't work, and you're like, okay, I guess that part of my life is gonna stay private and not on my YouTube channel. I know, I've tried. But yeah, look at what works and make more of that. Look at what doesn't work and drop it. I think you have great thumbnails on your worst videos.
What do you mean? That's
because
the best,
once again,
that's the best compliment I've ever gotten in my life.
Yeah, because once again, you put the best thumbnails on your gameplay videos, and not the new stuff, the stuff that usually works. It's, for instance, release date confirmed. That font treatment is awful.
Let me see which video you're talking about. I'm gonna pull up my YouTube right now. Hold on.
It's the one you published 2 days ago. A week ago, you had something with new specialty items announced for Dragon Ball FighterZ. I clicked that.
Yes.
Because you had an arrow and a circle, and I was like, is that a bunch of text that I have not read yet?
Yes.
For Dragon Ball FighterZ? I should click that. That said, the font treatment is awful. The character blends into the background. He's too dark.
He does.
And then you look at your gameplay thumbnails, and they're godlike. So this guy can clearly make good thumbnails.
Yes.
But he's only making them for the gameplay videos,
so let
which
me
are
ask
the worst part of his channel.
Let me ask you a question on that.
Worst,
because
I mean, your gameplay isn't bad. Like, I don't want to say your gameplay is bad. It's just
your
everyone else
bad.
does it, and it's hard.
Come on my Twitch next week. Okay, so where's the line drawn between getting it out first? Because obviously the news, if you're not first, you're last, which is why the thumbnails are so quick. Let's get this up. Where is the line drawn between get this out quick and give it the same treatment as a ranked match would be?
I have struggled with this question too.
Yeah.
I think I end up bringing a new perspective on whatever type of news comes.
Yeah.
And I usually do it through title and thumbnail combinations. So I cover the same news you did, right?
Yes.
With the Ultra Instinct Goku, the release date, and everything. So the thumbnail shows clearly that this is a reaction. So people are not going to get clickbaited, which means I can type anything I want in the title.
Okay.
And what I typed was Ultra Instinct is not just another Goku, which makes people wonder, does he have extra info, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I watched the trailer, and maybe I had extra info. I didn't watch the other videos. I have no idea. I did my own breakdown, and my conclusion is, yeah, this is a very different character. It's not just a different Goku. So I think a lot of it, like having this unique perspective, allows you to be a bit later on the video than most of other creators. The rule I make for myself is, if I post this news tomorrow, it's too late.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any difference if I post it now or 1 hour from now. And you don't want to cut corners on title and thumbnails, because those are the biggest metrics for your performance. Yeah.
That'll work. Okay, so...
And to be clear, I don't think your gameplay videos are bad. I just think too many people do it, so it's hard to stand out.
You heard it here, guys. I got the GLOBKU'S seal of approval. I'm not bad.
We'll see. We'll see next week.
Yeah, we'll see. Shameless plug. Okay, so guys, I will be on GLOBKU'S Twitch. Next week, I will be trying out a family member's PC, just to make sure the connection is rock solid. And I saw with True Underdog you had around 5 frames, which is fine. So we're gonna do I'm gonna do my best, because I can't wait to play against your kid Bloo. I've been watching that for seasons now. Seasons.
Yeah.
You
might see a different anchor though. I'm thinking about a different anchor other than Trunks.
You thinking about Majin Buu, aren't you?
No, he's not an anchor.
He's not. You heard it here. Majin Buu's not an anchor. All right, so this would be a natural closing point, but I think that people need to hear the next thing I have to ask.
Okay.
In the YouTube algorithm, I've always operated under the idea that you need to post once a day to keep yourself relevant.
No.
How often do you post? What is your rule of thumb for that?
I try to have 3 videos per week, but there's no rule. There's really no rule. I do 3 videos per week because I find that's what I need for my day-to-day revenue, I guess, and for the channel to keep growing, and for me to be able to hire editors and live comfortably. But there is no rule that says you need to post daily, you need to post weekly. There's really nothing. What I would say is, as soon as you break your own rule of not posting daily, it can be very easy to get lazy and not make content.
Yeah.
I would say posting a lot of videos that perform okay is worse than posting one video that performs wonderfully, right?
Yes.
So if you have an idea, feel free to take a couple of days off to work on it. And on top of that, I forgot what my second point was.
Thank you for your wisdom.
Yeah, no problem.
That'll
Yeah,
work.
so I had a friend, Bilbzy. He's an Australian creator. He reached out to me recently. He was also doing daily videos, and recently he started not doing that. And one of his questions was, what do you do when a video performs bad? Like, do you post another video the following day? What do you do? I say, posting a video on the following day is actually not going to save your channel or harm it anyway. Because what happens is a video that performs bad is going to affect all the videos around it. So, yeah. So the next video you post might not perform as well as you think it should. And that's probably because of the first video. If it's performing really, really bad, I would unlist it. Just remove it from public, put it unlisted. For instance, your first time Naruto fan reviews, I would unlist that.
Yeah. I was going to do a series.
Yeah, no, but you did good. Like, you tried a new piece of content. Yeah. It didn't work. Okay, drop it. Move on to the next thing.
You're
That's
right.
YouTuber mindset. Yeah.
That is the YouTuber mindset.
Yeah.
You know what? I needed to hear it, and I appreciate it. And I hope that everyone out here that is trying to start the same journey as I am, you appreciate the content too, or at least the advice, because it's hard out here. A brother's got to eat. we got to get somewhere. But it's been fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so
totally, thank you for having me. This was definitely a pleasure. This went super smoothly. I think we have some good chemistry, and next week it will be fun.
It'll definitely be a fun time. I'll post the details in the description below, and of course I'm going to link GLOBKU. If for some reason you don't know who he is, he's one of the premier forces in the FGC when it comes to anime and fighting games. He's also super fun and does great breakdowns. So, GLOBKU, it has been awesome to have you here. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for the invitation. It was
cool.
Great.
All right, guys. I've been the Dr. Blue. You're incredible. Like, share, and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.
Now you're incredible. I always wanted to say that.